Hello and welcome to the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Charlotte and today is a solo episode. I'm going to be giving you an exclusive sneak peek at the workings of Paula's design and landscaping business. We're going to be looking at her SEO website report for July, talking about ranking in Google, how you can apply it to your own business, and what everything means. Are you missing out on anything? We'll be diving all into it.
As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
So before we get started, what is search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO, which is what I'm going to be calling it today because it's a lot quicker to say. SEO is basically the work, the method of getting your website to appear on search results in Google, getting you to the first page, that first spot. That's what SEO is all about. Through various different methods that I'm going to go through, you're basically doing the work to get to that place so that people click onto your website for the terms that you want to appear for and ultimately inquire. And the first stage, which I'm going to quickly summarize because it feeds into the report that I'm going to be showing you and giving you an exclusive on. And if you're watching the YouTube version, I'm going to throw screenshots up of this report. The first stage when I take on a new client is to speak to them and really understand what they want to appear for in Google, what their priorities are for their website. There's no point just saying, I want to do SEO for SEO's sake. You've got to have an end goal. So for Paula, she wants to appear for search terms related to driveways, patios, and garden design, because ultimately, if they're searching for that in their area, then they're obviously going to want to speak to them and convert them into a client. So for you, if you're a garden designer, it could be things like garden designers near me, garden design in London, for example. All of these different things are called keywords. It's what you want to focus on, and that's what we talk a lot about in website copy and other such things. So I speak to the client, I get an understanding. So Paula, for example, driveways, patios, and garden design. I then go away and use a system called Moz. Moz is a paid for system that helps me do my work. It saves me a lot of time and also gives you a really good base of analytics. Google provides you with Google Analytics, but not a lot in terms of search. This basically is like the all-encompassing results and analytics section that you won't need to know everything in depth on. But for me, it gives how are we performing? And also I can then see where we're lacking and focus on improving. So I go into this Moz and I enter a bunch of different things that I think might be searching. It's like garden design Hampshire, for example. It gives me how many people are searching that term a month. So it could be like 50 people a month are looking up that search term, 1,000 people, whatever it is. It also gives me how difficult it is to rank for. So if there's lots of competitors and if it's easy or not. And what I do is I compile a long list in this keyword research phase of keywords that we would love to be able to ranking number one for across the board. I put this list into Moz with the website and it does its thing. And we then work forwards into improving and trying to rank for all of those keywords. So if you're just starting out and you have no idea what SEO is, think about what you want to rank for in Google, because that is your research phase. Moz does offer a free 30-day trial, so it is good to sign up for that and use its keyword research tool. And then also you get a site crawl report. So SEO is not just about focusing on keywords, it's looking at lots of other things, including, are there any errors on your website? Is it really slow to load? Has it got broken links, like error pages? And what Moz does as well is give you a report that says, look, here are all the issues on your website. So I would highly recommend using that 30-day free trial for that if you're not looking at ongoing SEO packages with TLC or anyone else, because it's not a tool that necessarily you want to buy. For you guys, it's a reasonably expensive tool. For me, I'm using it for multiple clients. It makes a lot of sense. For you, it is definitely worth it if you're going to spend time on it. That's the difference. So do my keyword research. I have all my issues on my website. Now I go into fixing those issues and doing the ongoing work to improve rankings. This could be things such as updating the web page copy, updating meta descriptions, trying to generate links with other websites to get people to link to us. Because basically the more links from trusted websites you have to your website, Google then sees, well, people are linking to this website, good links. So if you got one from BBC, oh my God, you'd be like amazing, okay? And what it does then, it goes, okay, it's more trusted, and it helps to build that angle. There is a lot of it, which I'm not going to go into, but that's an example. It can really vary, like blogs, things like that. All of these things account towards SEO. Now, I've given you a brief summary of what SEO is. Let's go into and break it down, the report that I give my clients at TLC, that I give Paula's design and landscaping business. So this is their report from July. And as I say, YouTube version will have screenshots of the report so you can see exactly what I mean. So I take things directly from Moz and then I provide analysis on top. So here we've got, for July, they had 5.73% search visibility. Now, what this is meaning is out of the 75 keywords I think that we've put in for Moz to track, they are ranking for 5.73%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, because if you think, we haven't just put keywords in there that are easy to rank for, or they're ones that are really specific. We've also started including and expanding for things like, well, if we're going to write a blog on surrounding this particular keyword, like garden design consultation, for example, we'll track that and see if the blog starts to rank for that. So we've started to expand the horizon on the keywords that we're wanting to appear for, and 5.73% is really good. And if you look, I'll cover up the competitors' names, but there are 3 main competitors in that area. The next person is ranking for 0.58% of that. So there's a huge, like 5% difference between them and their competitors. Now, competitors, we always talk about competitors and should you compare yourself to them. This isn't something we highly focus on, but it is kind of an awareness thing. Now, obviously, there are so many other search terms that the business could be appearing for in Google. These are just the ones we've chosen to track. So those competitors, again, they could be ranking for a number of other keywords that we're not. There are ways that we can kind of find out things through Moz, but this is specific to those 75 keywords. We're ranking for 5.73% of them. And it will show a graph of how it's changed over time. Then we've got desktop versus mobile search visibility. So the difference basically between rankings on when someone's on their computer versus how we're appearing on mobile. So mobile is slightly higher at 6.1%. And the amazing thing about Moz and these reports is that I make sure to track it month on month. So the previous month was 5.52%. So that's a slight increase this month versus last month. And as I say, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So if we looked at it and we're like, right, we want to get to 10%, let's chuck 3 or 4 hours a month to get to that in a quicker pace than doing 1 hour a month, for example. So search visibility, as I say, overall is how you're ranking for those keywords that we've selected in the keyword research process. Next, we have external links. So this is people linking to your website. So Paula's design and landscaping business has 346 links from other people's websites linking to theirs. Their competitors, one competitor has 1,500, and then the next one is at 112. Now that's a good amount of links for a small to medium business, but we also want to improve that because, as I say, the more links you have, the more trusted your website will be. Obviously, the right links, ones that are focused on your ideal client. So for example, a home and garden magazine linking to Paula's website would be amazing because it's very focused. With everything, the aim here is not to appear for everything, it's to appear for what your ideal client is searching and to link to people that are right for your business. Then keywords ranked 1 to 10. So in Google, on the first page, you have 10 results. You may have a couple of ads, it may fluctuate from time to time, but on average, there are 10 results. Keywords ranked number 1 to 10. And that's what you really want to aim for, because people generally, unless they really can't find anything they don't like, don't go to the second, third, fourth page of Google. So out of the 70 keywords, they have 70 keywords. Out of the 70 keywords, they have 16 ranked in positions 1 through 10, and that was up 2 from the previous month. Now that's really awesome. We're going in the right direction, and I always put there we had 14 the previous month. The competitors, the next person had 7, so there is a, let me do some quick mental maths, 9 keywords difference. Again, not a huge focus on the keywords, but Moz does provide the information so you can see how you're comparing. And it's not 7 in general, so that competitor is not just ranking for 7, but out of the 70 keywords, that we've selected, they're ranking for 7 of those keywords. Next, I really break it down into looking at the individual keywords that we've selected and how they're performing. So there are some branded ones in there. So Aura Landscapes, for example, in Dorset, they're ranking number 1, and it shows what URL. So the homepage is ranking number 1 in Dorset for the search term Aura Landscapes. And also you'll see here monthly volume, it says data not available. Now, I mean, there is millions and millions, probably trillions, okay, of search terms in Google every day, week, month. I don't know, it's ridiculous. So Moz hasn't crawled everything. And just because it says data not available doesn't mean that it's not a good keyword. There are many on here that you may think, well, it says data not available, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any search traffic, and ultimately tracking it in Moz isn't going to be harmful. You know, focus on the ones that have a slightly bigger search term, but if you're naturally ranking for a keyword, that's great because someone's searching it. For it to appear in Moz, someone is searching it. Okay, so don't get focused on the big ones. Actually, when I start off with a website, a new client, I start off with the keywords that are about under 500 monthly volume search terms a month. So under 500 people a month are searching for that keyword. And that's because if it's a brand new website or a website that's not doing very well in search currently, you start off by trying to pick those keywords that have fewer people trying to focus on. For a big keyword where 3,000 people a month are searching for it, you can bet a lot of your competitors and a lot of other people are trying to also appear for that keyword. They're going to be spending time and money on it. So you're better off starting with those smaller keywords, which in turn naturally kind of helps those bigger keywords because your website overall becomes more trusted, etc., etc., etc. You're better off picking those what is called low-hanging fruit, but is still amazing, than building up to the bigger keywords. So yeah, you've got number 1 of Aura Landscapes nationally. So the great thing about Moz is it can look at on a national scale, but it also can look on a local scale. So in here we've got Hampshire, Surrey, Dorset, and nationally, and Poole and Hampshire. A lot of different types. So you can see, you can track both national and local to see how you're really performing. So in Hampshire, for example, Garden Design Services Southampton, they are currently ranking number 1 for their garden design page, which is awesome. And we've put work into that. So again, it's looking at where you are now and where you want to be and seeing. So on here on this report, I include the top ones up to, we've got rank number 12. Now, obviously there's more than that. And you can start to see, right, well, you know, Garden Design Hampshire, in Hampshire, we're currently ranked number 9. We should improve that next month by focusing on XYZ, maybe writing a blog, updating the garden design page copies, or maybe creating a new page really focused on Hampshire that's maybe not linked on the main menu, but is searchable on Google. So it's picking those things. And as a client of TLC, I always recommend. So I say, here are the results. Here's my analysis on the results. Here's what I recommend for the next month that we work on. Now, the only other thing that's not on this report is site crawl issues. And that's because there's none highlighted here for this month. There's no new ones that have appeared, nothing like that for me to highlight. And also domain authority. So domain authority is how trusted your website is on Google. I'll flash up an image of what theirs is currently at here. And basically that in itself is a whole beast on its own. It's how trusted your website is in the eyes of Google. As I say, links from other people's websites that are trusted to yours works really well. It also accounts for other things like how long your website's been active. So for Paula's business, it's been active 11 years. So they've got a lot of time there. So naturally it will improve year on year. Whereas if you're a brand new business, you're going to start off at 0. That is how it's going to be. And don't get too stressed about trying to get to 100. The only people that are at 100 out of 100 are like BBC, those types of websites. So don't stress too much about that. But that is their report. And I provide a lot of analysis into what the results mean and what the actions are next month. And as an SEO client, if you are interested, I have a monthly call with yourself, go through the report, go through my recommendations. I then do the work, and then the same for the next month. And you can fluctuate. So one month it might be like, right, we're just launching the new website. We want 4 hours of SEO this month. Next month, we only want 2. The next month, we want 3. And you can fluctuate it that way. It really is custom to you. And I hope this kind of breaks down the overwhelm, because it can seem really alien and it can seem like, what the heck is SEO? Everyone's talking about it, don't understand it. Is it really technical? And yes, there are elements that are really technical, and there are other bits that aren't so much. If you're a member of TLC, there is an SEO topic, video tutorials inside the membership. If you're not part of the membership yet, but you want to be, check out the wait list. The link will be in the show notes. And if you are interested in, do you know what, I don't want to do it myself, but I want to get the results and I want to be ranking in Google, then reach out to info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk, and we can definitely help create those results for you through our SEO packages that are available. And if you have any questions generally, just reach out as always. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek behind the scenes. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one.